I wanted to start my talk with an excuse for my English, but I did it, so I can start. So I will talk to you about system thinking to improve your design sprints. And before that, just a little bit of presentation. So I'm Fabrice, and I made maybe a little bit more than 35 days design sprints as a sprint master. And I'm a systemic designer. I will explain you later what is it. I started a project on January with a lot of other people. That is a collaborative project to participate at our societal transformation, like a macro project. And it always starting with a meeting at Le Comptoir, like at the bar, with some wine and beers and coffee if we are on the morning. Maybe some people drink beers on the morning, but not us at our comptoir. So. In this transformational project, we use design sprints as a part of our main resources, plus system thinking models and theories. And I will show you how we use it. So let's talk about system thinking to prepare your design sprints to a bigger challenge. But before that, if we talk about sprints, we need to talk about Jake Knapp vision. Okay, so we start with Jake because he's our dad, so love you, dad. Okay. I asked Jake, what design sprints is great for, Jake? Okay. And he answered me, product design, service design, and it's perfect for focused and specific challenges. Okay, Jake. And what about business design, political design, strategic design, vision design? And he answered me, stop that, dude. Never do that. This is too big, and you can't use design sprint for that. Okay. So what can we do to help companies with bigger problems and complex challenges, like business evolutions, organizational changes, cultural evolutions, or transformational process, and everything like that. And Jake answered me, maybe you can ask Google. Okay, Jake, so thank you. Thank you, Jake. And in 2019, I think everybody is searching on Google to find the answer. Okay, but there is no perfect answer right now. So what can we do? I think that I'm a designer, okay? So I can try to find something because I love problems and you know it, we just need one question to start to explore. So what is the question? How can we answer big and complex and very complex companies' challenges? So I decompose, I explore this question. So big and complex challenges, okay? So it's big and complex systems, okay? And so if we use system thinking to work around this complex system, it can be useful. And maybe if we use a kind of more complex intelligence. What is that more complex intelligence? Maybe artificial intelligence? No, not yet. It's not ready to help us to transform our society. But maybe Google is already on the plan, so I don't know yet. We will see that. So we can ask collective intelligence to the rescue. And you all know it. This is what happened in design sprint. And Jake know it too. So it is why design sprint is already awesome, because we use collective intelligence. Okay, cool. So starting from that point, we can say that, yes, this is great because it makes different kind of mental models. It favorizes diversity and shared knowledge. It opens to intuitive intelligence and imagination. Okay, because we never use just the rational part of your mind. You use the right part of your mind. This is the mind that connects people together and can help them to imagine new kind of ideas, new kind of models. And Jake, tell me, new ideas and models are elements which create innovations. Oh, great. And transformations. Good. So, yeah, Jake, I need definitely design sprint. So I keep it in my pocket. I keep the 5 days organization. I keep the first day about understanding the big pictures and problem, because this is really necessary. I keep the process and the model, diverge and converge. I keep the prototype day and the test and learn part. But using system thinking, I change some parts. I remove the user map and I change with something else, I will tell you. I change the way I ask questions as facilitator. I change the way I change what we prototype and the expectations about outcomes. and the follow-up. So what about the user map? The problem is that user maps are linear, okay? And if we want to think in systems and in a big and about big problems or big challenges, we need to free ourselves from this linearity. Example with Patagonia. Okay, everybody know Patagonia, yeah? They are a great company because they test a lot of stuff, and they are great because they use circular thinking and circular design, okay? And it's a kind of simplified system representation, okay? Because you don't are on linearity, you use a circular point of view, and you think about, okay, some people love our clothes, but they trash it. They go to trash, sorry for my English. But maybe we can take it and repair it and sell it again, or we can just take the clothes and transform it for another thing. And it can improve our business, it can improve our customer needs, it can improve everything. So if you think in a circularity, this is a better way than linearity. Okay, so for this kind of experimentation, you can use the IDEO circular design tools. This is really great. You can start from a workshop, 1 hour workshop, and you can use a lot of other kind of stuff to try it. And I hope everybody will transform organization in circular thinking way, because it's great for us, for the planet, and for maybe the universe. Okay, so next, if you want to think this example is about the inhabitants' needs in the center of the systems. Sometimes we say, okay, we have to think with the human-centric point of view. But what about the human-centric? Just because I love this woman or I love this man, so I think about his needs? No, this is a need that is really important. And for this example, it was about a project around inhabitants. So inhabitant is the people who love and care about his home. And it was with a big company. I can't say the name because I don't have to. It's IDEO, like Leroy Merlin for people who know it. And so we start from a project, okay? The project at the center is around the inhabitant, and how can we improve the life of the inhabitant to help him take care better about his home? Because this is a real why, you know? We all need a beautiful home where we are well. So this is maybe the center of the project that answer real needs. And we break it down in actions, and we break it again in little actions, and as little as possible. To do it, we connected the dots, we're creating some links and relations, and it creates a shared system consciousness. I'll show you. This is that second tool, which can be named Systemic Action Map. You can name it as you want because there is no certificate on it yet. Maybe in 2 or 3 years we will see. And for the moment, yes, I have some example here. So you have different kind of map, systemic map, with the inhabitant at the center. And all people in the design sprints created their own map around the inhabitants. And what's interesting it's that you can discover the different point of view of the people around the table, and you can discover that they can discover how the others see the same system, because they all work in the same company, but they never represent the company as the same way, okay? And they can show on this system the different part of the company, and we use some little dots in red and green to help them to show, okay, this link or this part, there is a lot of problem here, so I put a red dot on it. Or this part is going very well, so we can put a green dot on it. And what is, I think, a little bit magic is that when we want to understand complexity and complex system, we think that we need to have some kind of augmented reality perception of the systems to move around it and see everything, or we need some virtual reality projection to move inside the system, because this is so complicated to represent it. But what's really awesome is that just with that kind of papers and that kind of representation, when I ask people, do you have the consciousness about the system you are in. They tell me, yeah, I understand everything. I understand temporality. I understand the kind of problems that are here or here. I know that if there is some problem, troubles here, I can improve it by changing some part here. So they started to understand that they are just parts of a bigger system than themselves. And with that consciousness, they can think all together about what we need to do to help the inhabitants. They are not just fighting in between their services to know, I need to do that, I need to do that. This is not their needed. This is the need of the final user, okay? So, I speak a little bit too fast. Maybe it's when I'm a little bit stressed, so sorry about that. So, with this common visualization and this common consciousness, we can now navigate in the system to find big questions to answer. Because these questions are parts of a transformational design. Okay? So let's see it. So navigation. How do you navigate in a system? Like on this kind of paper or in augmented reality, as you want. Maybe it's by asking good questions. And what are good questions? So we all know that's kind of good questions because they always start with why, how, or what. Okay? So you can use ask why. This is to find causal problems. It will make you navigate in the system. Why do we need to improve materials to build a house? Maybe because there is some important part to think about the environment or the nature or something like that. But that's not just about nature, environment. It could be about business. It could be about collaboration, about the emotions of people who are living in their home, everything like that. You go up, 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 and you find real good question with why. You can ask how. How is really useful to find relations, actors, and resources inside the systems. Because sometimes you want to say, okay, we need to do that, but okay, how do we do that? We need to do this, this, and this. Okay, so we miss it in the system. Okay, we have to add it. And maybe this addition, if it's an actor, you have to collaborate with someone else. Or if you add an action, you say, okay, this is an action, but a big action. So maybe it's a project. You have to add a project to answer that other problem, just here. And you can ask what? This is to find concrete actions. When you ask what, you find concrete action. So let's try it with something really simple. This is linear, because this is the most simple thing that I can present you. So this Sunday, I want to have a great Sunday morning, okay? So why do I want to have a great Sunday morning? Because I want to enjoy my life. So I can push more than this. Why I want to enjoy my life? Because I'm a human being and, well, stop it. So don't use why. But how? How can I have a great Sunday morning? I can invite some friends for a brunch. Okay. So what can I do for this brunch? What can I have to do What can I have to do to prepare this brunch? I have to prepare this brunch. Okay. What? I have to prepare this brunch. I have to invite my friends. I have to think about a beautiful movie that you can watch together, something like that. And to prepare this brunch, how can I prepare this brunch? By selecting some recipes, buying some food at the market, and something like that. Okay. So you can see that I propose you a lot of other answers. So in linearity, I can't represent it. You need to represent it like in a system or mind mapping, okay? And go on. Some kind of questions, examples. Why do we do that? Why do we do that way? How do we do that? Or what do we need to do to create that to answer our strategic engagements? And you can play with that kind of logical questions to move inside a system and to exchange and to share with other people around the table. So what's interesting here is that when you navigate in a system asking that kind of question, you are also navigating in your own mind. And you can try it because this is a different sensation that happens in your mind, because when you ask why, sometimes it's complicated. When you ask how, this is another kind of sensation. When you ask what, this is more simple, but sometimes you said, oh, I don't know what really, because I never ask how. And you can move inside your mind. And what is really interesting for me is that because our neural networks are complex systems too. Okay? So this is a great improvement to play in systems because you improve ourselves. So we can understand well ourselves and the others around the table, and we discover how they think about their job, because sometimes developers or designers don't have the same kind of connection in their neural network. So if we explore the neural network of each other, we can understand other people. So that's great. So when we navigate, we can find causal problems, and we can create new logical connections to build new priorities and concrete action systems, okay? Because if you just explore in the system and say, okay, we understand the system, we stop it, this is not useful. You have to break all projects and actions in little actions to have that, this new system. And this kind of new system that didn't exist yet is what we prototype. We have to test it. Because it's a new system to visualize, explore, test, and get feedback on Friday. We are in the design sprint, so we have to test it. And who tests it? This is not just the final customers or the users or something like that, because this is more about the model. So you have to inspire your group to continue to explore new solutions. So you can ask other kind of experts who are not part of the sprint group, and you can try for maybe organizational problems or collaborators challenge or something like that. You can ask biologists, biomimicry experts, physicists, ethnologists. You can try everything, because that kind of people think in systems too. So if you explain your system, they will understand it, and they will find some analogy with what they know about another kind of system, and they can use it. This is like biomimicry. You know, you can be inspired by nature to help transform something that is a human system. And that's awesome, because nature maybe makes some researches since 4 million, 1,000 years. So we can use it. And you integrate in the testers other company collaborators if you work on it. And you can put on it actual customers or maybe new discovered customers, because you will discover new opportunities during the system mapping. So you can try it by inviting your new customers. Maybe it could be difficult because if you are on a Thursday night, you have to call people. So, hey guys, come on, come on. But maybe this is like guerrilla testing, but this is interesting kind of actions. Okay, so that's third tool is systems plus storytelling. Because if I just present you a system and I just tell you, okay, look at it, it works that way, that way, that way, that way, it could be really boring. So people will not be interested in it. But if you had a story about it, it could be better, because nothing is better than a story, okay? It helps tester to navigate in your system. And in your system, you already have all elements you need to tell this logical and coherent story. Because you have priorities, temporalities, events, actors, places, problems, and when you tell a story, that kind of element are all you need to tell a story, okay? And if you miss some element in your system, maybe there is a problem. It missed something in your system, so we can talk about it on Thursday and say, okay, we can't tell a story because it missed this, 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 and this. We didn't think about the environment. Oh, okay, that's great. So you can add it on your system, and it improves your system just before the test. And the question that you will ask me, so at the end of that kind of systemic design sprint, what happened, okay? The good point is that you get all outcomes elements you can find in a classical design sprint. Because at the end of this sprint, this is just the beginning, okay? Like all sprints, this is just the beginning. You learned a lot. You are more conscious about the system you are in. You made it visible and explainable to other people, okay? You made complexity a fun opportunity to collaborate, because we always fear complexity. We say, okay, it's too complicated, I can't do it. I prefer to go to Deliveroo to ask in 2 minutes to have a lunch tonight, and that's fine. How Deliveroo work? How this system work? I don't know, I don't care. I just need to have my food in 3 minutes in my home. But nobody understands the system. Complexity is great, but not great for 1 person or 2 person. This is great for a lot of people working together, and that's what is great. And with that sprint, you detected and prioritized your next steps, okay? And next steps are small enough, And I let Jake explain it, okay? When you have small challenges, you can make design sprints. Okay, so that's great. Thank you. And just a little bonus, just to show you how I built this talk yesterday afternoon. So I started with a system, with system thinking at the center, okay, and I used that system to build a kind of script on this paper, which became my slides that you just see here with Google branding. So that's it. You can use systems to do what you want, maybe what you want. So come to me if you want to talk about that, and enjoy your day. Thank you.